Hi, this is Russell Tammany for Before You Buy, and today I'll be reviewing the Synology Diskstation 1513 Plus. This Synology NAS is a 5-drive bay NAS that allows you to put up to 5 drives in the front of it, and there's also some expansion abilities to allow you to add storage later. This Synology NAS is powered by an Intel Atom processor and has 2 gigabytes of RAM, so you can actually put quite a bit of applications and server purposes for it. You can use these devices for home or small business, and they have quite a bit of features and functionality that might be useful to you. Okay, so this is the basic box. You've got the Synology box with 5 hot swap drive bays. So each of these have little locking connectors on them so that once you install a drive, they can be locked. And they also have green status lights that let you know that it's working. This unit has 4 Lan ports, so it can be used with link aggregation to get faster performance. So on the front of the unit, it'll tell you its status, whether there's an alert, and what the status is of the Lan ports. Then in the rear of the unit, you have quite a bit of functionality in the back of this unit. So this unit has 2 eSATA expansion ports, which can be used with regular eSATA drives or Synology's expansion bays. You've also got 2 USB 3.0 ports and 4 USB 2.0 ports. You've also got 4 gigabit Ethernet adapters, and that can be used either in a high availability cluster with other Synology units, or you can actually use it with link aggregation to get faster performance. Once you've turned it on and connected it to the network, you're going to be able to get into what they call the Diskstation Manager software. And this DSM software is what makes these Synology units really great. The first time you log into the Synology Diskstation, you'll just log in as admin, and then it'll take you into their Diskstation operating system. Now this isn't the first time that I've logged in, so the Quick Start wizard doesn't come up. What you'll get with the Quick Start wizard is something that comes up, tells you what hard drives are in the system, and allows you to create a RAID or a Synology hybrid RAID of those disks for use. So what I've gone in here is we've loaded this up with 5 of the Western Digital 2 terabyte drives, and so we've got them all in here, and they're all created into this Synology hybrid RAID. So this means that we've got a 7.2 terabyte file system available for our use. Now with the Synology units, they use regular Linux ext4, so the recovery and kind of disaster failure, if like you had to hook these drives to another system, you can actually hook them to a Linux system and get them mounted. The Synology hybrid RAID is a little bit harder to get mounted in another system, but the regular Linux RAID 5 and RAID 1 modes are just what you would find in any Linux server. So once you've created your volume on the Synology unit, there's a lot of options that you have. And it can be a little bit daunting, but you might already have an idea of what you want to use your Synology Diskstation for. One of the biggest uses is to use it as a file store. So you'll actually have the ability to go into the control panel and then create multiple shared folders. What makes the Synology stuff pretty unique is their interface here for creating and managing everything. And so everything's sort of laid out in the control panel where it's real clear. You can link it up with your router. You can set a dynamic DNS so that if you need to get into the unit from outside, it will take your dynamic IP address and publish it to a name. If you have certain UPnP routers, it can automatically configure those port forwardings for you. It's got built-in quality of service and firewalls, and everything's really laid out in a very nice form factor. If you're a business user, you can go into directory service and join it to your Active Directory domain, and then you can use your Active Directory users and groups for all of the permissions and login to the system. So the Synology Diskstation comes with a certain set of built-in applications. So in the control panel, you'll find that ability to set up your FTP, to set up a web server, and to set up other items like that. However, the Package Center also lets you add special features to your Diskstation. And so these are little one-click items where if you want to use the CloudStation software, which is a great Dropbox-like feature, so this will give you a local personal Dropbox for multiple users off of one system. And all you have to do is click on Install, and you've got your CloudStation icon. You click on your CloudStation icon, and it'll come up with the CloudStation setup. And everything is really simple and straightforward, and you can set these up in a couple of minutes. You have a lot of other options available in the package station, and all of these have been tested and certified by Synology to work on the unit. There's options that are more business-oriented, like a directory service, or home-oriented, like the Plex Media Server. The whole system is run underneath Linux, so you can SSH into them and compile packages. You can do custom scripts and other custom settings. However, The best thing about these is that you don't need to do any of that. And for the simple user that might want to set up a basic Linux file server, this is going to give you so much more control and so much more usability than what you'll be able to kind of cobble together with other products. So there's many reasons that you might want a NAS device, and I think the Synology DS1513 is a great choice. The pros are that it's fast and reliable. I've used these for a couple years now, and every time I put them in, I basically never have to touch them again. It's also it's got great business and home features, especially for a small business or like a power home user that is maybe a photographer or artist or musician, where you've got a lot of information. It's important to back it up. The cons are just really, I had to think pretty hard about the cons because I'm really happy with these devices. And the cons are that the expansion bays are pretty expensive, considering that they don't actually have anything really in them except for a power supply for the drives and eSATA expansion bays. It's lacking native two-way replication, which most people don't need, but for small businesses that have multiple sites and small offices, it's nice to have one unit in one location, a unit in another location, and then have a folder that's set up so that it's two-way sync between the offices. And the interface, I really like the interface. It's great and simple, but once you really start loading it down and using it like a power user, it'll get a little bit cluttered, and you're sort of navigating through the icons on the desktop and going through the control panel and going through all the tabs and clicking on little buttons on the tabs, and you sort of have to dig around and bury around for some of the more advanced features. So overall, I'm going to give the Synology DS1513 Plus a buy. They're $835 on Amazon right now, which might seem a little bit expensive, but compared to what else is out there in the market, compared to like a small server or trying to build together your own system and put the drives in it, you can do it a little cheaper, but you're not going to have the features of the hot swap bays, the Synology DSM software, the monitoring, the alerts, just all the great things that you get out of these devices. And I think it's definitely worth it. This has been Russell Tammany for Before You Buy, reviewing the Synology DS1513.